This whole Black Lives Matter deal is really about white perpetrators matter. Jordan Neely is just a prop and an excuse to go after some white dude. No one cares about his life. That's so blatantly obvious. I don't know how anybody can deny that.
But corporate media needs a victim. They need another George Floyd. They need someone that they can rally behind and go, oh, look at this. He's a victim of white supremacy, the infamous white supremacist boogeyman that's going around and destroying black lives and holding black folk back. If this Marine had been a black man, no one would have said anything. If Jordan Neely had been a white guy subdued either by another white guy or a black man, no one would have said anything. But Jordan Neely is their perfect victim. They can use him. They can use his videos of him dancing on the trains to Michael Jackson. And they can say, hey, listen, here's this guy who just needed some help. As AOC said, he's a victim of the system. He just needed a place to stay. And they can use him. They can prop him up. And they can say, this is our victim. We're going to champion his cause. We're going to make sure he's okay. We're going to make sure that his message is put out. And then they're going to get it wrong over and over again because they like to prop up the victim. It's classic Marxism. They're not going to say, he was wrong for his actions. He shouldn't have been on the trains menacing people. He shouldn't have been on the trains trying to victimize people. They're not going to say that because it destroys their message. What they're going to say is that this man who stopped him, who choked him out, they're going to say, oh, he's a white guy. This is obvious white supremacy. This is obviously someone who woke up that day and decided to choose violence. They're not going to go against Neely because that disrupts their base. AOC, the squad, that disrupts their base. So they're going to get it wrong time and time again.
The thing that is so true that no one can deny, if a Crip or a Blood has shot this dude in the back of the head, absolutely no one would care. No one. If Jordan Neely, who died at 30, if a Crip or a stray bullet from a gang member had killed him at 7, no one would care. There would be no protest. There would be no outrage. And if he were killed in the inner city and the crime was never solved, like the overwhelming majority of murders are not solved, no one would care. This whole Black Lives Matter deal is really about white perpetrators matter. Jordan Neely is just a prop and an excuse to go after some white dude. No one cares about his life. That's so blatantly obvious. I don't know how anybody can deny that.
Well, I've always said BLM should change their name to SBLM, Some Black Lives Matter, because they're not going to go after the black lives that have been destroyed by violence in Chicago, in Baltimore, and St. Louis. They're not going to go after those black lives. They're not going to look for accountability for DAs who think you can solve crime with hugs and warm fuzzies. They're not going to hold DAs and other politicians accountable who think you can just sort of win the hearts and minds, as Obama said, of gang members who are out there directly terrorizing neighborhoods. They're not going to go after those people. They're going to go after the white supremacy boogeyman. They're going to convince black folk that they're so oppressed by white supremacy, by rich people, by billionaires. That's who their enemies are. As far as the people getting shot every day, every weekend in black Democrat-run cities, they couldn't care less about those lives. Those lives don't advance their narratives. They pick and choose which lives matter to them so that they can advance their narratives and ultimately stay in power. If you keep people scared and if you keep people fearful for their lives and you say, well, I'm the solution to this because I'm going to promote de-escalation and I'm going to promote defunding the police and I'm going to put those resources that we should be using for police into social workers and violence reducers or reduction experts or whatever they call themselves nowadays. We're going to put funds into that, and we're all going to live in harmony, and we're all going to dance around a campfire and sing Kumbaya. They offer themselves as that sort of solution to the problem instead of just going forward and definitively doing something about it. Bill de Blasio gave his wife over $1 billion to correct this problem. $1 billion that no one knows where it went. There are no receipts for it. There's no accountability for it. But Bill de Blasio gave his wife over $1 billion to supposedly fix this problem of mental health and mental issues, and no one's been able to benefit from it. So my question is, at what point do people stop voting for these soft on crime politicians and wake up and realize something has to be done? And it might not be the prettiest solution, but it's a bona fide, definite solution.